I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the importance of wearing a seatbelt while driving. The most important thing that I learned as an EMT is the importance of wearing a seatbelt. Never did I have to cut a deceased person out of their seatbelt. Instead, I've heard of and even seen some accidents where people should have died, but because they chose to wear their seatbelts, they're alive today. When I was in my early teens, there was a concert that some friends were going to. I remember talking to them just before they left and hearing the excitement in their voices. As I said goodbye, the last words of a close friend of mine were, "I'll see you tomorrow." Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, because on the way home, they were in a serious accident. This accident took the life of my friend Jessica and seriously injured her sister Georgia. My friend Georgia, whose life was spared because she wore her seatbelt, is alive and doing well today. But as for my friend Jessica, she passed away, but she might have been here today if she had chosen to wear a seatbelt. There's no question in my mind how important it is to wear a seatbelt. The consequences of not wearing a seatbelt can be far greater than anything else. In many instances, seatbelts can save lives and have saved many lives. Today, I would like to give you some information about the importance of wearing a seatbelt, the effects it has on your family and friends, and what the states are doing now to ensure that we're all wearing our seatbelts. One day, my wife Summer was on her way home from a friend's house. As she turned onto the dirt road heading home, she checked to make sure she was doing the speed limit because the road is filled with potholes and loose sand. When she reached halfway point between the main road and our house, she suddenly lost control. Without notice, she hit a patch of loose dirt that caused my wife to lose control of the truck. She soon found herself upside down as the vehicle came to a stop. The loose sand caused the vehicle to turn suddenly, and when this happened, the vehicle flipped. Luckily, she was wearing her seatbelt, and that might have saved her life. Larry Copeland explains in his article, "A Drive Towards Zero Road Deaths," that 55% of those killed in passenger vehicles accidents are not wearing their seatbelts, which could have been the case for my wife if she wasn't wearing her seatbelt. She could have easily been ejected from the vehicle and seriously injured or killed. The NHTA states in 2008, seatbelts saved more than 13,000 lives nationwide. From 2004 to 2008, seatbelts saved over 75,000 lives. Thankfully, my wife is one of those 75,000 lives that have been saved by wearing seatbelts. And according to the Republican Most People, only 63% of Massachusetts residents wear a seatbelt when driving or riding a vehicle. My question is, why not 100%? Why can't we take an extra second to spare our lives? If only my friend Jessica would have taken that extra second, she might be here today. For some reason, people think that they won't get into an accident because they're safe drivers, which may be true, but what about the millions of other drivers on the road? Not everyone is a safe driver. All it takes is a split second and your life is no more. I know this to be true because as an EMT, the most common thing I heard was, "It all happened so fast." Wouldn't it make sense to do everything in your power to ensure your safety? If not you, then our local state governments are taking action to help us. Recently, the Texas Department of Transportation stated law enforcement officials statewide are participating in the Click It or Ticket campaign to increase safety belt use. All drivers and passengers in the vehicle must be properly restrained or run the risk of a fine up to $250. This program has also made its way to my home state of Florida, and I find myself putting on my seatbelt every time because of it. I was driving from my friend's house to the gas station one day, which is about a mile down the road, and I didn't even think to put on my seatbelt because of the short distance. But unfortunately, a police officer had seen me without my seatbelt on, pulled me over and gave me a ticket. A couple of months later, I was in a small accident. It was nothing really, but it could have been so much worse if I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. The reason I was wearing my seatbelt though was because I didn't want to get another ticket. But it truly prevented me from any serious injury. If it takes a law enforcement official giving me a ticket to put on my seatbelt every single time, then isn't this law worth it? The solution is fairly simple, and it only takes just a moment. As soon as you get in your vehicle, put on your seatbelt. And I urge you to remember that by wearing your seatbelt, you're not just saving your life, yourself from serious death or even injury. You're also saving a husband, wife, mother, father, sister, or whatever you are, to whomever. And you owe it to them to buckle up.